The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills needs to fire Kyle Richards. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills has had a ho-hum couple of seasons. Despite the best attempts from producers to reinvigorate the show, Season 14 has proven that there's no future if it continues to feature Kyle Richards. As the sole original star left on the Bravo hit, she gets away with much more than her co-stars, ultimately sending the series down the wrong path. Undoubtedly, RHO Beach would never have reached the success it has if Kyle wasn't a part of the cast. Her family drama with siblings Kathy Hilton and Kim Richards made good TV for many years. Once upon a time, Kyle had a spring in her step as she took viewers into her life. Despite showcasing some episodes of delusion, the series has mined many storylines from her life. She's the definition of OG and was a crucial element of the show's success. But what else does she have to offer nowadays? Her storyline on RHOVH Season 13, including the downfall of her marriage to Mauricio Umansky and questions about her relationship with Morgan Wade, took up so much time, and viewers got little in return. Midway through RHOBH Season 14, we still have so many questions about her personal life, and it's becoming increasingly clear that we've been watching a persona the entire time she's been on the show. Kyle Richards is cashing a check and nothing else on RHOBH Season 14. Kyle is a fantastic actress, but she just played up this persona so much better in prior seasons. So our best guess is that she's checked out of the show because, like viewers, she's bored of it. It must have been physically and mentally taxing to have the cameras following her every move for several months a year for the past 15 years. So we fully believe that it's time she took a breather for the show. Whether that's permanent would be down to producers, but it needs to happen for at least a trial period to try to shift the storylines in a funner direction. Kyle has had her day in the spotlight, and freeing up her salary could allow an A-list star to take her place and give the show a much-needed facelift. We don't doubt that a network would be interested in poaching Kyle to chart her next chapter, because she's accrued quite the following during her time on the show, but she has nothing left to give RHOVH. Kyle needs to leave, and someone bigger needs to take her place. Watching her in her post-marriage life should have delivered some compelling storylines, but without Dorit Kemsley reading her for filth, what would she have done this season for screen time? The reality is that the rest of the cast is putting in the work, and Kyle expects to cash that check and stick around because of her OG status. With the ratings down this season, Bravo and producers need to take note and make changes before we have another The Real Housewives of New York on our hands. The glittering world of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills has long been a jewel in Bravo's crown, showcasing opulence, drama, and a peek behind the gates of Beverly Hills mansions. But in recent years, a growing faction of viewers and critics alike have begun murmuring a controversial sentiment. It's time for Kyle Richards, the last remaining OG of the series, to step down. While Kyle's tenure has been marked by loyalty, iconic moments, and deep family drama, her presence now feels less like the glue holding the show together and more like a tether to a bygone era. Here's why it might be time for Bravo to make the bold move of bidding adieu to its stalwart star. Overexposure and stale storylines. Kyle Richards' journey on RHOBH began as the relatable, grounded mom navigating the trials of friendship and family. Early seasons showcased her sisterly battles with Kim Richards, her evolving marriage with Mauricio Umansky, and her quest to find her place in Beverly Hills society. But after 13 seasons, Kyle's arc seems to have stagnated. The once dynamic storylines that revolved around her personal life have grown predictable. Whether it's petty squabbles with frenemies or half-hearted attempts at producing drama, Kyle's narrative seems to have hit a creative wall. Even her marital issues with Mauricio, teased as a major storyline in recent seasons, have failed to resonate deeply with viewers who've grown skeptical of what's authentic versus what's performative for the cameras. Meanwhile, newer cast members have brought fresh perspectives and conflicts that feel more relevant to today's audience. Garcelle Bavath and Sutton Strack, for example, have injected the show with sharp wit and a willingness to challenge the group's dynamics. Kyle's constant attempt to mediate or manipulate these dynamics often feels like a retread of old habits, rather than a compelling evolution of her character. Nepotism and main character syndrome. For years, Kyle has been accused of positioning herself as the unspoken queen bee of RHOBH. While every Housewives franchise has its anchor, Kyle's insistence on controlling the narrative has alienated fans and co-stars alike. Her friendship alliances often feel transactional, with Kyle aligning herself with whoever will help her maintain her central role. Take, for instance, her shifting relationships with Lisa Vanderpump, Denise Richards, and now Erika Jayne. Kyle's fallouts with these women have often left viewers questioning her authenticity. Is she genuinely seeking resolution, or does she thrive on ensuring that the spotlight, and Bravo's favor, remains firmly on her? Moreover, Kyle's role as a producer's favorite, whether real or perceived, has shielded her from the same level of scrutiny as her co-stars. While others are forced to confront their missteps in brutal reunions, Kyle often escapes with her reputation intact, even when she's played a significant role in this season's drama. This double standard has fueled the belief that Kyle is untouchable, a sentiment that frustrates fans seeking fairness and accountability. The Kathy Hilton fallout. One of the most significant blows to Kyle's reputation came in the fallout with her sister, Kathy Hilton. What could have been a riveting exploration of sibling dynamics devolved into a messy, polarizing feud that left fans divided. Kyle's handling of the situation, including her apparent reluctance to defend Kathy against Erika Jayne's allegations, was widely criticized. The feud with Kathy also underscored a recurring theme in Kyle's storyline: her fraught relationships with her sisters. While this dynamic initially made for compelling television, it's become increasingly uncomfortable to watch. Kyle's repeated willingness to air her family's dirty laundry on national television has raised questions about her priorities. Is maintaining her spot on RHOBH worth the cost of her familial relationships? For many viewers, the answer is a resounding no. Eclipsed by newer stars. The arrival of Garcelle, Sutton, and Crystal Konminkoff has shifted the balance of power on RHOBH. These women bring fresh energy and authentic perspectives that resonate with a broader audience. Garcelle's candid discussions about race, Sutton's quirky Southern charm, and Crystal's vulnerability about her personal struggles have made them fan favorites. Even Erika Jayne, despite her legal woes, continues to command attention and spark debate. In contrast, Kyle's presence feels increasingly redundant. Her attempts to stay relevant, whether through forced feuds or exaggerated reactions, often come across as disingenuous. The show's evolution has made it clear that RHOBH no longer needs Kyle as its anchor. In fact, her departure could open the door for even more dynamic storytelling. The case for a fresh start. Firing Kyle Richards would be a seismic shift for RHOBH, but it could also be the revitalization the franchise desperately needs. Removing a long-standing cast member is always risky, but it's a gamble that's paid off for other Housewives franchises. When Vicki Gunvalson and Tamra Judge were let go from the Real Housewives of Orange County, it forced the series to reinvent itself, albeit with mixed results. Similarly, the departure of Nene Leakes from the Real Housewives of Atlanta allowed other cast members to step into the spotlight. RHOBH has an opportunity to follow suit. By letting go of Kyle, the show can focus on its newer stars and explore uncharted territory. It could also pave the way for the introduction of fresh faces, whether they're Hollywood elites, business moguls, or socialites eager to make their mark on Beverly Hills. Kyle's legacy. None of this is to say that Kyle Richards hasn't been an integral part of RHOBA's success. Her humor, vulnerability, and iconic moments, from the infamous limo fight with Kim to her splits on the dance floor, have cemented her place in Housewives history. Kyle's departure wouldn't erase her contributions. Rather, it would allow her to leave on a high note, with her legacy intact. Kyle herself has hinted at feeling the strain of being a housewife for over a decade. In interviews, she's spoken about the toll it takes on her personal life and the challenges of living under constant scrutiny. Stepping away from RHOBH could provide Kyle with the opportunity to focus on her acting career, her family, and her burgeoning business ventures, all without the pressure of carrying a reality show. Conclusion. Firing Kyle Richards might feel like an unthinkable move for Bravo, but it could be exactly what RHOBH needs to stay fresh and relevant. After 13 seasons, the show is at a crossroads, and clinging to its past risks, alienating the very audience it seeks to entertain. By embracing change and allowing new stars to shine, RHOBH can ensure its place as one of Bravo's crown jewels for years to come.